today I'm going to be making a video of why you should play Forza Motorsport 4 in 2022 / review, kind of like what I did with Saints Row 1. Now this one, there's not really much of a tell you much about the story, but the gameplay and customization and physics and performance, that's easy. Like, as you can see here, this is I was in the middle of a race when I decided to do the video. The physics are, of course, sim physics. Like, even though I'm on a controller, these are sim physics. And as you can see, the car, this is a must. This is the Celine 281E, pushing 622 horsepower, so it gets a little wild, of course, even with the upgrades I have on it. And, of course, as you can see, the game's moving a smooth, I'd just say maybe 30, 40, somewhere around there, 30, 40 frames per second. And of course, the sound of it's awesome and all that. So, physics are down pat. I mean, Forza has no problem with physics, even on these old games. And next, I'm going to go on to customization. Okay, now we're in the first half of customization now. Of course, it depends on the car you're working on, how much customization it has. Of course, the Miata is going to have quite a bit of customization. That's just how the car is. Of course, there's the average Forza bits. But depending on the car you're working on, depends on the customization amount, as in front bumpers, rear bumpers, wings, hood, side skirts, stuff like that. And as you see, the Miata has quite a bit. This is the NA Miata, first generation. And of course, there's plenty of options for wheels. I mean, you can see all the options there. I mean, they even have Dub in here. Of all companies, they have Lexan, and Dub. Those aren't even performance wheels. Those are supposed to be more of lowrider and donk wheels, but they have them in here. And of course, they have plenty of options. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and cover performance in this too, because performance goes along with your customization. Of course, performance options, they're not lacking on, you know, they have everything you could think of when it comes to performance-wise. Of course, that's tire compound and widening your tires and wheel size and all that. And of course, engine swaps. If you're into engine swaps, which I'm not really into, but if you're into them, they have plenty of that too. And of course, they have you covered when it comes to paint, because you can basically paint any part on your car, as you can see. And you can do window tint, liveries, and this game is still online. This game is still online, so you can still download liveries. It's just that you need Xbox Gold to do it. So, yeah, I mean, you can even customize your profile. I forgot to mention that. Like, look at that, you can customize your profile. But this game's still online. Kind of goes along with your customization and performance. Now, as you can see, you get a tuned tire pressure. Some Gran Turismo doesn't have yet. even in 7. Of course, gear ratio every game has. Of course, all the suspension setups you need. Sway, you know, anti-sway bars, springs, dampeners, aero. You can tune their brakes, differential. I mean, basically, it has all the tuning you'll ever need to make the car handle the way you want it. And, of course, then there's benchmarks, which show you how your car's going to benchmark. Like, this thing's crazy because it's the Comfort Apollo S. Basically, a race car for the road. And, of course, you gave it a test drive. And you could download tunes and buy you could save your tunes and upload them and buy them from other people. But next is on to progression. Of course, as every Forza game has you start out in the slowest car. Like, I started out in the Chevy Spark hatchback. But you start out in the slowest car and you build your way up. When it comes to motorsport, at least, that's how it works. Horizon, of course, you know, is a completely different story. But when it comes to motorsport, it's totally different. Like, as you can see, you kind of work your way up for the ranks for each like for each championship challenge series. And after that, of course, as you work your way up, then you reach the World Cups. And of course, each World Cup is comprised of each class, even the lowest class, which is F. And of course, the highest class is like R1, which is where you're driving like proto cars and stuff like that. So progression is good. Like for instance, it's easy to get money in here. I mean, you can already see I have 8.7 mil, and that's quite a bit. You can buy quite a bit of cars in here. And of course, there's the Rivals events. So if you have EZcap's Gold, you could challenge people online's times and even win special cars like GT 500, Lamborghini Gallardo Super Veloce, and there's some other cars too. Now on to the car list. Now, what's a Forza without a car list? Of course. Well, you have a lot of cars to choose from. Maybe not as much as Horizon, but for a game made in 2011 that was their 4th entry into the franchise of motorsport, you have a lot of cars to choose from. I mean, some of these cars Gran Turismo doesn't even have, and I mean it. I mean, I played Gran Turismo 1 all the way up to Gran Turismo Sport, and I'm planning on getting 7 eventually, but I played all of them, and most of these cars, they don't even have. Hell, most of these cars in this game, the newer Forzas don't even have anymore due to licensing. I mean, as you can see, this list is a long list. So, I mean, you have plenty of cars. I think that last time I counted, it was like 400-something cars. 300? I think it was around 300, 400-something cars in this game. So, yeah, there's plenty of cars that you could choose from. The car list is very big. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention you can also take pictures. You can do this in a race, or you could do this in your background of your garage. And the picture mode's pretty good on here, I mean, as you can see. And I could adjust effects and all that. And of course, you can change your background. That's another thing I forgot to add in customization. You can change your garage background. Like, you change it to the Top Gear Studio and all that. Next, I'm going to go on to racetracks. Now on to racetracks. Now this game has quite a bit of tracks. It has some originals, kind of like Gran Turismo has their own tracks. Forza has their own tracks, of course. And of course, those have multiple different variants, as you can see there. Like one's different variants of driving normally and then reversed versions. And of course, each track, as you can see, has their own variants. Of course, they have world circuits too. Like that one's based off of Initial D. I forgot the name of the circuit, but it's the main circuit that you see the 88 sits on at the beginning of Initial D. But it's based off of that. But they have world circuits too, as you can see, Indianapolis, Athenian, Le Mans, Maple Valley. I believe that's a made-up circuit. It's one of their original circuits. But as you can see, it's a mix of made-up circuits and real circuits. Let's just say there's plenty of tracks. There's even a DLC track called the Test Track, and it's basically a test track. It goes by its name. But also, I forgot to mention, you can only play this on Xbox 360, or you can emulate it on PC if you can manage to get hold of a disc. If you can manage to get hold of a disc, I have a link down below how to do it, because there's a guy that made a video of how to do it. You need the disc, but it'll let you have all the DLCs. I mean, all the DLC cars. Basically, any DLC that's delisted, because this game's delisted, you can't buy it off of Xbox Live anymore. But, as I said, of course, as you can see, there's a for fun mode, like hot lap, split screen, quick race, stuff like that. But, it's one of those things where he'll show you how to get the game, how to emulate the game on your PC, and you'll be able to have all the DLCs, which people on Xbox really can't do, not unless they purchased them before the game was delisted. So, I'm going to have that down in the link in the description. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later in the next video, and this is why you should play Forza Motorsport 4 in 2022.